So he's asked you out and now he's gone. What has actually happened? Did you do something wrong? Did you act too keen? Or what is the explanation? And someone asks you out and then they ghost you. So actually, let me give you a bit of reassurance about exactly what has happened in this situation. So anyone who asks you out and then when you respond and say, oh, thank you, that would be lovely, and then they just disappear, or perhaps they even say exactly what day they're going to meet you on, and then the day comes and then nothing. What is really happening with a man who does this, and you don't need to worry at all because it's not about you. This man needs an unavailable partner. So they need someone who is actually not that interested in them. And that feels really safe for them because they're afraid of intimacy. So they were interested in the beginning when they asked you out. And they were hoping subconsciously for someone that they were going to need to chase. Because if they need to chase someone, intimacy never happens. And they never have to risk getting close to someone because they are terrified of intimacy. So if you're impossible to get, they'll chase you forever. That dynamic can go on for a long time. If someone that you're just not interested in and you give them the runaround, they will feel very safe in that dynamic and they're not going anywhere. They will actually keep chasing. But in this situation, what has actually happened is they've asked you out or they've expressed interest in meeting up with you, provided you haven't gone overboard messaging them and overboard with neediness, because that's a different story. But provided you've been relatively cool, I mean, you don't need to play games here. Some people like to apply lots of rules to this, but as long as you've responded in a reasonable manner, expressed a reasonable amount of interest, it makes sense that a man who's interested in you, who's available, would just actually meet up with you, go on a date and see how things go. But in this circumstance, and the date never happens, and it's a mystery to you. This man has asked you out and you're so flattered, you're really excited about it. It's a really novel thing because actually men don't ask women out very much in this day and age, it's a real shame at times. But in this situation, you're left baffled. And what's actually happened is you've reciprocated in a straightforward way. So you are showing that you're available. You're not saying you're going to jump into a relationship with this person. You're just saying, yeah, I'd be open to it. Be open to meeting up. Totally straightforward. They don't even know what's happened themselves, but they back off. They don't know why they go cold. They don't have the insight. So someone might actually have enough insight to kind of know what's happening, but then that's just really bad behavior. What actually more commonly happens is the man can't put his finger on it. Doesn't really know why he doesn't really want to follow up on it. He knows he's not good with women in terms of he's not fair with women. He's not consistent with women. He's not as respectful as he should be with women. And all these men come across as like nice guys, very charming. But the fear of intimacy means that if they don't have a real big chase, they are no longer interested. Because as soon as you say, yeah, I'd be up for it, then they actually are confronted with, oh my God, I have to show up for this woman. I have to be available. I have to let her in. I have to let her see who I really am. I have to let her in emotionally. Oh God, that's too scary. And they're not saying this on a conscious level. This is all subconscious. They just feel like they need space. So this is very much an avoidant type of male. And the reason why he's avoidant is he felt extremely smothered by a parent in childhood, usually his mother. His mother was overbearing. She was too emotional. She was too much. She smothered him with attention and he left childhood needing space. So he needs space in his intimate relationships as well. So that means he will only partner with very avoidant partners. And he can enter into relationships from time to time. And this might be the confusing thing for you, because you might know of him being in relationships in the past and having relationships that lasted many years. So then you might just think, oh, was I too keen? Did I reply too fast? Did I show too much interest? Absolutely not. You did nothing wrong, unless you totally bombarded him, in which case that's not a good idea. And that would be down to your own anxieties and your own insecurities. But provided you acted in a reasonable way and you said, yeah, that would be great. And, not too many messages. He should be showing up. He should not be running away at this point. So if he ghosts you, if he disappears, if he does not follow up on making that date happen, sometimes it happens later on. He'll do the first date, show loads of interest. He'll say, can't wait to see you again at the end of the date, and then disappears. So it can work that way as well. He doesn't have to disappear straight away. For the context of this video, I'm talking about the men who ask women out and then disappear. And it's just so confusing for women. Where has this man gone? So if you're finding that this is happening to you a lot, you might actually be particularly attracted to unavailable men. So just note that. It's happened like 2 or 3 times, and it's kind of all the men that are asking you out tend to just ask you out and disappear. Then you might want to ask yourself, why are you attracted to men who are so unavailable? What is it about your past? What was it about your early life upbringing and how your caregivers tended to you emotionally that made you want to chase and made you so open to and so interested in unavailable partners? Because perhaps you had an unavailable parent. So it's good for you to have that kind of insight, but it's also good for you to know that if this behavior happens, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. You don't even need to react to it. You don't really need to feel upset about it. You can look at your phone and be like, okay, well, he's dropped off the face of the earth. Interesting. That's about him. That's not about me. And then just move on and then see what happens with the next one. Does the same thing happen again? Or actually, do you start gravitating towards men who actually are completely available and are interested in having a relationship and are interested in building true intimacy? That is exactly what's happening with these men who disappear. They are terrified of intimacy. And usually they don't know it. They know there's dysfunction in the relationships, but they don't really know that actually every time they ask a woman out who would actually really show up for them and be a good partner to them, they're running away from them. So these are the type of men who will enter into quite toxic relationships with the wrong women who won't be able to be good partners to them. So if this happens to you and you've got ghosted, you've dodged a bullet. There's nothing to worry about. It's because the man is afraid of intimacy, not because you've done something wrong. If you have any questions or comments about anything I've said in this video, you can leave them below. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel.